a lot of cool things in the Kia Seltos, but one of the coolest things is something called Sound Mood Lamp. And basically what that does is has the ambient lighting and the speakers in the car respond and dance to whatever song you're listening to. And it's pretty cool, and it's something like you see in the Kia Soul. Now, I usually love a good laugh, and I found it pretty funny the way the color themes are named in here. You have Party Time, Hey Yo, which if you're listening to hip hop like I usually am, you can set it to that. Traveling, Romance, Midnight City, and Cafe. And if none of those themes appeal to you, you can just pick a color. You have Blue Flight, Peaceful Forest, Dreamy Purple, Violet Cloud, Orange Delight, Golden Insight, Refreshing Sea, and Super Red. I really wish I was in the room when they were naming these colors because I would be on the floor laughing really hard. Now, the next thing I want to point out is something that's not entirely new to Kia and Hyundai models, but I like pointing it out anyways. When you turn off the car, it'll play a nice little sound to bid you farewell. Not only does it play a sound when you turn off the car, but when you enter the car and shut the door, there's a nice little welcoming sound. Thank you, Seltos. One of the coolest things about the Kia Seltos is that you can get it in a two-tone color scheme like this one here. It's only available on the SX Turbo model, and it costs an additional $345. Keep in mind, though, that if you do go for the two-tone color scheme, you cannot get a sunroof, so that's kind of weird. Pricing for the 2021 Kia Seltos starts at $21,900. The top-of-the-line SX Turbo model starts right under $28,000. As equipped here, you're looking at right over $29,000. Not bad considering the rest of the segment. If you're somebody that likes their cars fully loaded, a fully loaded SX Turbo all-wheel drive Seltos like this one here can run you right above $29,000. If you add on cargo mats and puddle lights and a bunch of other random accessories, you can easily hit over $30,000. But that's not bad considering what you're getting. If you go for the SX Turbo Kia Seltos, you will get a 1.6-liter four-cylinder turbo engine making 175 horsepower, and that's mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The base Seltos is available with a 2-liter four-cylinder engine making 146 horsepower. The Kia Seltos can be had with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The SX Turbo model here is exclusively available with only all-wheel drive. If you want front-wheel drive for some reason, you only can go for the S trim level. The people shopping in this segment rarely care about 0 to 60 times, but the SX Turbo model here has a pretty impressive time of 6.6 seconds with a top speed of 129 miles an hour. Fuel economy for the SX Turbo all-wheel drive model comes in at 25 city, 30 highway. You have a 13.2 gallon tank capacity. After a couple days of driving, I am averaging 22.8 miles a gallon. I actually love what Kia has been doing with their design language, a good mixture of modern and bold design elements. The Seltos here competes in a segment full of bland and quirky designs, and as you can see, the Seltos is definitely on the quirky side of things. Just like the Kia Telluride, the front end of the Seltos is highlighted by the brand's signature Tiger Nose grille. The fully loaded SX Turbo all-wheel drive model here comes standard with the LED Beats lighting system, which features full LED headlamps, LED fog lights, and LED daytime running lights. Let's just take a second to appreciate the LED lighting system here. I love the design of the headlamps, and I absolutely love the design of the indicators. Those are some of the coolest looking indicators that I've seen in a while. And if you look closely, the LED daytime running lights run into the grille, which I think is a really cool design theme. I love the side profile of the Seltos. It gives it a really aggressive and funky stance. As I mentioned earlier, you can get the two-tone color scheme on the SX Turbo model, but just be careful, if you go for the two-tone color scheme, you cannot get a sunroof. I think that's kind of weird. And then on the back, almost every Seltos trim level comes standard with LED taillights, and they look really cool. And if you think those are the exhaust pipes, they are not. Those are just funky design elements. They're not real. The real exhaust is right down there. The exterior color choices of the Seltos depend on the model you go for. So if you go for the LX, EX, or SX, you have a variety of color schemes to pick from. The color that you see here is called clear white mixed with the cherry black roof, and I think it looks really nice. Wheel choices on the Seltos include 17 or 18-inch wheels. The LX, S, and EX models get 17-inch wheels, and the S Turbo and the SX Turbo here get 18-inch wheels. Pardon all the junk that I have in the trunk, but when it comes to trunk space, you have 26.6 cubic feet behind the second row, and with the second row folded, you have 62.8 cubic feet. Enough room for basically anything, and if you're looking for the spare, it lives right there. The interior of the Kia Seltos is a pretty nice place to be. I love what Hyundai and Kia have been doing with their interiors. Quality-wise, there's not much to gloat about here, but it's nothing out of the ordinary for this segment at all. The SX trim does have some soft touch materials here and there, but there is a lot of hard plastic that's visible and up close and personal. But again, that's something that's expected in this segment, so I'm not complaining at all. Not much craziness going on when it comes to the gauge cluster here. My test model, which is a fully loaded SX Turbo model, does come with a 7-inch digital screen, and it just gives you some information like your driver assist screen, your info screen, and your navigation / compass. And in the info screen, you can circle through some options, including drive info, accumulated info, fuel economy, and your transmission temp, and what drive mode you're in. The most action that this digital gauge cluster screen part sees is when you switch through drive modes, you have the option to pick between normal, smart, and when you select sport, you'll have a little animation with the red lights go there, and then when you're revving your engine, those red lights will come to life. Kia is quite generous when it comes to the infotainment system. The lower trim levels of the Seltos get an 8-inch touchscreen display, and the higher trim levels get a 10.25-inch touchscreen display with navigation. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard across the lineup, and I wish more automakers would do the same. To give you a quick tour, this is your home screen here, and you can actually edit these widgets out. So I have the map, I have the radio, and I have the weather. And say if I want to switch out the weather with something else like the clock, I just hold clock and drag it to the weather. And when I go home, I will have that there. And then once you swipe over from the home screen to the next screen, you'll have a selection of apps and settings to pick from. You see Android Auto, you see Apple CarPlay, you see Sound Mood Lamp, and then the Kia Seltos also has something called Sounds of Nature, which we saw in the Hyundai Sonata, and it lets you pick through some ambient noises. Let's just play Warm Fireplace. Quite romantic in here. Calm sea waves. Makes me want to go to the bathroom. Rainy day. Also makes me want to go to the bathroom. Open air cafe. Reminds me of the good times when you can go to a cafe. Last but not least, you have Snowy Village, and it sounds super creepy with these footsteps. I also think I heard somebody laugh and giggle in this one, so this one is super creepy. See, that's super creepy. I would freak out. Overall, I just love how easy this infotainment really makes your life and your overall experience in the Seltos. So for example, if I go to navigation menu, I can easily just type in a place, but it also has predetermined point of interest categories like gas stations, coffee shops, restaurants, banks, grocery stores, fast food, convenience stores, pharmacies. So let's just select pharmacies. Now it's searching for the pharmacy that's closest to me. You see there's a CVS, there's a Rite Aid, there's a ShopRite. Very, very cool. And one of my favorite settings in all Kia and Hyundai models is when you go to Setup, Advanced, and then you go to Steering Wheel Mode button. This will let you pre-select media settings that you want to access quickly rather than circling through all of them over and over again. You can just select FM, you can select Bluetooth audio, and phone projection, which is your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, when you hit the mode button on the steering wheel, it would only circle through those settings instead of circling through everything else that you don't ever listen to. And then say you're somebody that just refuses to change with the times and get a smartphone, and you still have a flip phone, but you need a place to record your voice memos. I'm sure you can still do that on a flip phone, but the Kia Seltos will record a voice memo for you. Hey, what's up? This is Omar Drives. Swipe up and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I keep asking you guys to over and over again. Let's play that back. Hey, what's up? This is Omar Drives. Swipe up and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I keep asking you guys to over and over again. But yes, overall, Hyundai and Kia's infotainment system are some of the best in the mass automaker industry. They're absolutely killing it when it comes to making it convenient and easy for you on a daily basis. No advanced camera game going on here. There's no image mapping. There's no 360 camera. Just a good old rear view camera where you can adjust the brightness and the contrast. And that's really about it. If you want all the bells and whistles when it comes to driver assist tech like adaptive cruise control, you're going to have to go for the top of the line SX Turbo model. Starting with the S-Line and above, you can get things like lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and starting with the EX models and above, you can get blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and forward collision warning. When it comes to the charging game, you have a USB port right there for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connections. Then you have a fast charge USB port right there, and your wireless charger is right here, which is only available on the EX models and above. One thing that I really appreciate about the Kia Seltos and all Kia and Hyundai models are the reminders and notifications you get if you're a very forgetful person. So say you're at a red light and the light turns green, but you're too busy probably looking at your cell phone, it'll tell you that the lead vehicle has moved forward. And then say that you're just getting the hang of the parenting thing and you're not really good at it and you forget your kids in the rear seat. When you turn off the Seltos, it will give you a rear seat reminder to let you know, don't forget your kids. The interior of the Seltos is quite spacious and quite comfortable. The seats are pretty comfortable indeed. You don't get cooled seats or a heated steering, but you do get heated front seats. On the S model, you will have to pay $1,500 extra for heated front seats, but on the EX models and above, you get heated front seats as standard. When you hop into the second row of the Seltos, you will get 38 inches of rear leg room. I'm about 6 foot tall, that's my seating position, and as you can see, I still have quite a bit of room. You have a little bit of storage here, then you only have one USB charger, so your rear seat passengers will have to argue over who gets to charge their phone first. You get a total of 4 places to put your drinks, 2 in the front for the front passengers, and 2 in the rear center armrest for the rear passengers. And then each door has a place to put your water bottle, but don't put your drink in there as that graphic suggests. Here are what the keys look like on the 2021 Kia Seltos. I love Kia's design for their keys. It looks like a bomb detonator. Funny thing is they had more room here, but they decided to put the remote start on the back, which is really weird. I don't know why they just didn't put it there. And let's remote start this thing. And time to go. Let's do it. I think honking horns will be my claim to fame one day, but here's how the horn sounds on the 2021 Kia Seltos. Just like I expected, not tough at all. The hair game continues to get out of control. I cannot wait to visit my barber. Either way, now that I've answered all of your questions about the 2021 Kia Seltos, let me give you my opinion on what I think about this new addition to the subcompact crossover segment. Let's get to it. Kia has been absolutely killing it when it comes to their model lineup as of recent. You have the Kia Stinger GT, which is a great sports car. Then you have the widely successful Kia Telluride, which is a perfect family crossover and SUV. Anybody hating on SUVs and crossovers really needs to stop, because as you can tell, Americans love them. You just have to look at the sales figures to prove that self to you. And any brand hoping to be a viable automaker in this day and age has to have a very strong SUV and crossover lineup. The Seltos is a great addition to Kia's lineup. It is quite unamusing to drive, just like the rest of the subcompact crossover segment, but when you do pop it in sport mode, the engine does rev a little bit higher, the steering wheel gets a little bit tighter, and it becomes a little bit more peppy. Nonetheless, people shopping in this segment don't really give a crap about sport mode or 0 to 60 times. They're just looking to get from point A to point B in the most comfortable and fuel efficient way possible, and when it comes to that, the Kia Seltos checks both of those boxes. My top picks in the segment include the Mazda CX-30, the Honda HR-V, the Hyundai Kona, and definitely the Kia Seltos. So if you're shopping in the subcompact crossover segment, make sure you test drive all those along with the Kia Seltos. Either way, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next week. Make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Omar Drives, because that's where I get all the questions that I answer in these videos. And let me know in the comments if you're enjoying my content or if you think I should do something different. I love hearing the feedback. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Peace. Just driving the Kia Seltos, popping in sport mode because I'm a rebel. And red light. Never mind.